How old are you?
24.
How do you feel your age has influenced your perspective or experiences so far?
That's an odd question. I
Your
feel
life
like
experiences.
my life experiences at the age of 25, 24, I feel like I'm still young, but a lot of people say I'm getting old and that I should have everything planned out and in line by now, like a house, my car, and all of that stuff. But I feel like me personally don't have all of that in line.
How has technology impacted your life and decisions in your early adulthood?
Social media shows me the pace and path of everybody else's lives, whether they're older than me, younger than me, and it gives me room for like comparison. Not that I do it all the time, but of course it's like natural because let me see somebody that's around my age and they have, a house or traveling every other day, and I don't do that. So it makes me think a lot about whether or not I'm moving too slow or too fast or at my pace compared to everybody else.
How does authenticity show up in your circle and personal life, considering a stereotype about Gen Z?
I don't know, I guess they call Gen Z folks who are lazy or not as hardworking or not as quick to be in a relationship or married and having kids. Me personally feel like if I'm not financially ready for a child, I'm not having a child. I feel like people in generations before us settled for a lot more, and Gen Z people or me authentically choose my own path and don't really consider anybody else's opinion when it comes to it. Like if I feel like I'm not ready, I'm not gonna do something. Whether or not somebody else feel like my age range should define where I should be.
Have you or your friends started any businesses or side projects during early adulthood?
Well, since I would consider this early adulthood, they're not like official businesses, but being that we were in college or just getting out of college, we have like a lot of networking where my best friend does hair on the side. So that makes us a couple $100 a day. And I found little things that like little DIY craft projects that I create and I sell them. But other than that, I wouldn't say we established a business. Just side hustles.
Okay. How do you manage work life balance in your early career or education, given the emphasis on it by Gen Y and Gen Z?
The emphasis of Jayla and Jay-Z. I don't know too much about it when it comes to Gen Y, Gen Z. But me personally, I always felt like time management was a thing. I was always in, sports and band. They kept us pretty in line. And it was always military time and professionalism and time management. That was just always preached to me, and I've been in band and played sports since like sixth grade. So I always had a set schedule and work like prioritize my schedule and the things around it. I kind of like just filled in the holes and kept a set schedule.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the end of the interview. Thank you.
First question: how old are you? How do you feel your age has influenced your perspective or experiences so far?
I am 20 years old, and I don't necessarily feel like my age has impacted that at all. I really feel like it's the other way around, where my experiences have impacted my life, and it has happened at all different ages. Some things that I have went through at 16, someone who is now 22 or graduating college at 24 is just now experiencing. So yeah,
How has technology impacted your life?
technology has greatly influenced my life. Ever since I was younger, like I always wanted a phone. Even if it was like a phone that had a little keyboard on it, like I wanted it ever since I was younger. And the games were technology at that time. They had just started coming out with like the Nintendo and the Wii and stuff like that. So it definitely has impacted me greatly.
How does authenticity show up in your circle and personal life, considering the stereotype about Gen Z?
If I'm being completely honest with you, it is actually crazy because I was having a conversation with you, Jayla, earlier, and I said how like even like some of my closest friends, like I know what they go through in life, like outside of what they put on like social media and things like that, and it doesn't like compare. Like it's not the same. They always try and make it seem better than what it is on social media. And even me myself, like I can say that on social media, of course, we only put like the good things when we look good, when we're doing good, and stuff like that. So yeah.
Have you or your friends started any businesses or side projects during early adulthood reflecting the entrepreneurial spirit of our generation?
Me and myself, I have like done braiding on the side and like promoted it on social media and stuff like that. I haven't created like a business with it. As far as the people in my circle, no one has started a business, but I do have like associates or people that I've went to school with a few years ago that I am now supporting their businesses. So.
How do you manage work life balance in your early career or education, giving the emphasis on it by Gen Z?
Honestly, very hard. Um, Me being me and you being you, and just us talking as much as we do, like it's very hard to manage a work life balance, and it's harder than what I feel it should be. Like it's either you have a little bit of work and you're stressing, or you're basically living too much life and you're not being serious, or you know what I mean, like trying to like advance in your career, like you're just out here doing whatever. And so it's hard to like maintain both and keeping your mental health at the same time, like taking care of you, um, especially with all like the peer pressures and stuff like that that society puts on you. Every single time you open up a social media app, you see someone on a vacation. You know what I mean? So it makes you want to go on vacation, and you actually do those things. But then like trying to balance it out, it can be difficult sometimes. So
Okay. How old are you? Follow up question. How do you feel your age has influenced your perspective or experiences so far?
I'm 23, and I don't really feel as though my age has affected my experience, my perspective, because I feel like what you've gone through like dictates your maturity. And you can be 30 and have the mindset of a teenager still, or you could be 17 and have gone through so much stuff and lived so much life to where you are that adult having that grown mindset.
Right. How has technology impacted your life and decisions in your early adulthood?
I feel like technology helps with convenience. Without Wi-Fi, without our computers, we wouldn't be able to do half of the schoolwork that we have. Being able to have directions for somewhere rather than reading a map, half of our generation probably can't even do that. And just being able to like actually Google something and have that immediate answer whenever you need it. Like it's very beneficial.
How does authenticity and inclusivity show up in your circle and personal life, considering the stereotype on our generation?
I feel like it kind of depends because a lot of people in our generation are very like social media based, whether it's something that they partake in or something that they watch and like try and shape their life around. So I think it depends on the group of friends that you are around or the group of people that you're with. It's kind of like code switching when you talk. You kind of switch it up with based on who's your surroundings.
Yeah, and I also feel like people in our generation, they be following like whatever current trend there is, you know?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everybody's going to get smoothie bowls. Oh, I want a smoothie bowl. Like,
Yeah, it's not like a lot of authenticity. Like a lot of people aren't themselves. They're just like, just hopping on whatever trend there is. And that's why it seems
yeah.
like everybody's personality is kind of almost like the same.
Yes, and there's always been trends, but it's been more as like, oh my gosh, like those backward jeans, I would have never thought of that. Let's try it out. And now it's like everything. Nothing like nobody's having an original experience.
Right, exactly. And have you or your friends started any businesses or side projects during early adulthood reflecting the entrepreneurial spirit of your generation?
I actually did start a business in COVID. So from ages 19 to 20, it was a natural cosmetics business, which I was actually able to use social media to grow. It's actually a super cool experience. I got to do a contest, like a Shark Tank sort of thing at my university, where I actually won first place and won money for the business. I shipped out to over like 15 different states. It was super cool.
How do you manage work-life balance in your early career or education, given the emphasis on it by Gen Z?
Honestly, I have to color code everything. That is the only way I can stay like in order, organized, whatever. Work is a color, bills are a color. Fun stuff, the gym is all a color. Whatever goes on my whiteboard also has to get written in a calendar. Like if it's not visible, then it doesn't exist.
Do you ever feel like one of the things that you have to give attention to, like you're giving too much attention to, causing like other things to not have as much attention, and you might be like lacking? Or do you feel like you pretty much found like a happy medium to balance everything?
I honestly feel like I have a decent like balance with it, but I feel like the only reason that is because it's written out. Like my days are time blocked. Like I know I only have an hour and a half in between, and if I want to work out, I either have to wake up super early or I have to stay up kind of late. So I feel like it took a while, but I have my balance. Like my schedule doesn't change. It's the same from week to week. That is the big thing.
All right.
I guess your name.
What's up? I'm Shannon.
All right, and how old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay, and how do you feel your age has influenced your perspective or experiences so far?
I feel like being younger, like obviously we grew up with like technology and stuff like that. So I do feel like people look at us as like some sort of like modern generation, like, but I think that's for the better, but it kind of got some bad to it too
Okay. For my second question, how has technology impacted your life and decisions in your early adulthood?
though. A lot, because that determines like it's so many more career paths just based on like technology. Even though like for me, I'm a car salesman, but like I use the computer and marketing pretty much all the time. So I would say it's like very important.
Okay. How do authenticity and inclusivity show up in your circle and personal life considering the stereotype about Gen Z?
Yeah, I feel like that's a misconception. I just feel like any generation or age group or anybody of any specified group can have bad tendencies and make their group look bad. But like in my life, I don't really have much of that going on. Like, I have great friends. I have a good relationship with my mom, my dad, my siblings. So I don't see me being Gen Z as like I think I'm better than, or like, you know what I mean? It's not, somebody in my circle wouldn't even be thinking about that.
Okay. Have you or your friends started any businesses or side projects during early adulthood reflecting the entrepreneurship spirit of your generation?
Yeah, yeah, I had a couple friends start businesses, like plenty of them, like family members, whether it was like clothing brands from Shane, my boy Shane did CBC, or like I got like other cousins that sell like women's sweatsuit sets or do nails, eyelashes. I even went to school with a girl that do tattoos now, so I'm familiar with like people starting their own business, but I think that's like attributed to like the fact that everything is changing so rapidly, meaning like stuff is starting to cost a lot more because we got all this technology, but you got to have an outlet to make money, essentially. So that's what I feel like.
Okay, and for my last question, how do you manage work life balance in your early career or education, given the emphasis on it by Gen Y and Gen Z?
I feel like it's harder than now. I mean, harder now than ever because there's way more expectation on this. Like, for example, I understand like my grandfather probably had to work way more physically hard than I did, but most of the time everybody just wanted like a simple life, but now it's like in order to keep up and you know what I'm saying, actually have the things you want to have, the price of everything is just so crazy. So I mean, I would suggest trying to balance work and life as best you can. Obviously you're gonna be tired, very very tired, and try to make the best decisions to like put yourself in positions to where you got like some sort of flexibility in your schedule to be able to fit those things in. Because if not, you just gonna go into like a depression, I feel like.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Nice. Thanks for having me.